I'm here at the overseas call centre of a large insurance company. With me is customer service team leader Mr. Bolte. Mr. Bolte, how easy is it to provide great insurance service to your customers?
Well, we're on another continent. You can never get through. We've no idea who you are, and we're only allowed to work from a script with the information on the screen in front of us. Frankly, you'd be better with High House.
High House Insurance, your local experts. High House Insurance don't pay to be on comparison websites, so your premiums are better value. For a free, no-obligation quote, call Selsey 606 552. High House, local, reliable insurance. High Street, Selsey.
Hello, and a warm welcome to Selsey Internet Radio. I'm your host for the programme this week, Tony Weiner. So, what delectables do we have for you? Well, we start the programme with Lynn and Dennis, who are out and about. I will then tell you all about the Selsey Walking and Outdoor Festival, SWOF. Then we have a new item, Video Watch, which is a review of videos by Dennis Cowan. Our resident gardener Giles is with us again, out and about in the garden. And we will complete this week's show with Lynn explaining to Dennis how the Fat Cows discussion group came about. So, what's going on in Selsey this week, Lynn and Dennis?
Hello, Lynn. And what's on this week?
Hello, Dennis. Well, we start off with Tuesday the 28th of April, when the Selsey Visually Impaired Club will meet at Hanover Close in the lounge from 2 to 4 p.m. Transport is door-to-door for meetings and outings with the Selsey Venture Bus. You can ring them on 605 115, and if you know someone who has problems with their sight, please tell them all about the club. Further details from either Mrs. Judy Smith on 606 995 or Mrs. Jill Erickson on 601 628. Selsey Visually Impaired Club.
Right.
Okay. On Friday the 1st of May, there's a bridge drive in aid of Selsey first responders from 2 o'clock at the Selsey Centre, and it's £28 per table. On Saturday the 2nd of May, Little Spain Bowling Club will have an open day, 10:30 to 5 p.m. And would you like to try your hand at green lawn bowls? It says, come along and have a go. I've never played bowls. Have you played bowls?
No,
I've never played bowls. I bet it is good fun in the long run.
They take it very seriously.
Yeah, they do. It says here you have to have flat shoes.
Yeah.
Trainers will suffice, and the venue is Golf Links Lane near to the golf club.
Right.
All right. I'm sure you'll see them all out there. On Sunday the 3rd of May, there's a sponsored walk for the new Selsey lifeboat starting from the inshore lifeboat station. Registration is between 8 and 10 a.m. and a walk of approximately 10 miles, blimey, via Selsey, Pagham and Pagham Harbour.
Right.
Okay, wow, that's a big
That's
walk,
a thrill.
isn't it? Isn't 10 miles. For further information, contact Clive Wildman on 07 831 544 530. If we go on to the 3rd, also on the 3rd, then there's the celebrity cricket match. Now, I quite like looking at cricket. 1 o'clock at the Selsey Cricket Club, the Thespian Thunderers, from the world of show business, will be playing for the Sir Patrick Moore Cup. Entrance is free. There are various other attractions on the day, and a fun day out for the whole family is expected. And finally, for what's on this week, on the 4th of May, Monday that is, that's the Spring Bank holiday, Selsey and District Carers are having a car boot sale at the Academy from 7:30 till 1 p.m. So go along and grab a bargain.
Right, yes.
I think that's all I've got for this week, Dennis, as far as what's on. I'm sure there is a lot of things going on.
Right, thank you, Lynn.
You're welcome.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Lynn and Dennis. And over to myself, and I'm going to tell you all about the Selsey Walking and Outdoor Festival. I'm Tony Weiner, and I've been asked to give you some information about the Selsey Walking and Outdoor Festival, which this year will take place between Monday the 25th of May and Sunday the 31st of May, which is the bank holiday week and a half term for schools. So, what exactly is SWOF, as we call it, or the Selsey Walking and Outdoor event? Perhaps I can explain by first saying that we are lucky in Selsey to have two great RSPB reserves either side of us, with Pagham being an internationally important site for wildlife. We have fields and farms around us, as well as the sea, with the great city of Chichester in the north and even a canal. We are surrounded by wonderful wildlife and fascinating history. Do you know, for example, that nearly a third of all the blue plaques in West Sussex are concentrated around the village? I nearly forgot to mention the wonderful night skies and Sir Patrick Moore's contribution to astronomy. And incidentally, while mentioning him, I can say that there is no blue plaque for him yet, nor for one of my favourite authors, Jerome K. Jerome, who lived in James Street. There are others also worthy of a blue plaque, but you need to participate in the event to find out more. So, the festival is a way of allowing us to explore this wonderful area and the nature around us, whether it be on foot, bike, and even in the water, which is probably unique for an event of this type, but celebrates what has made Selsey the wonderful village that it is. Now, the organisers, and I have to say that I am one of them, have arranged a variety of events which will allow for people with a variety of interests and abilities. Some people like to walk long distances with a group of like-minded people, and others might enjoy shorter distances, and some may have interests in the wildlife and history of the area. Well, there's something for all of us. Now, there's been enormous encouragement for the event, and we have been very fortunate to have Richard Williamson and Professor John Mason actively participating in the programme, as well as local historians and wildlife experts, and of course our diving masters, Mulberry Divers from East Beach in Selsey. Now, some of you may recognise Richard Williamson's name. He's a witty and very knowledgeable wildlife expert and writes a weekly column in the Chichester Observer. He's written an authoritative book of walks in West Sussex, and we're really looking forward to him starting the event on Monday the 25th of May at 10:30 from Church Norton Car Park, and it should be a very entertaining and interesting circular walk to Peckham Harbour. Now, Professor John Mason from the South Downs Planetarium is a star in his own right. He's appeared many times on the Sky at Night along with Sir Patrick, and also has appeared on many other scientific programmes. We are fortunate to have him lead a short walk on the 26th of May at 10:30 in the evening. Of course, we need the night sky, which will start at Oval Field. There are lots of other events during the day and evening, and I'm probably going to get in some trouble for picking a few of my favourites, but here goes. On Monday the 25th of May there is a cycle ride around the New Memory RSPB Reserve, and will give us an opportunity to see how this award-winning development is evolving. On the evening of the 25th of May there is a short walk around the east part of Selsey to explain how the railway carriages came to be there, the story of the entrepreneur who developed the land, and his grandson is still in the village, as well as the story of some of the people who live there. For example, I didn't know about the secret liaisons between Prince Edward and Mrs. Simpson in one of the houses. I was also amazed to learn that 32 of the converted carriages have been identified, and there are probably more. In recognition of the importance of the research leading to the walk, we have produced a pamphlet which can be used in conjunction with the walk. Now, unique to a festival of this type is the snorkelling, which will take place on Tuesday the 26th of May from Buns, and also on Friday the 29th of May from East Beach Car Park. Of course, for safety reasons, these are subject to the weather, but it is a fantastic opportunity to experience the seas, particularly if you have never snorkeled before, as the events are suitable for complete beginners. On Thursday the 28th of May we have a walk around Siddlesham, where we can learn about the land settlement programme, and where unemployed people from around the UK were offered the opportunity to become horticulturists. I wish I could say that word, but there we are. You'll learn how to say it probably as well. The awful consequences this had on their life will be explained. The topic of this walk will be the subject of an exhibition at the Novium in Chichester, so it's an excellent opportunity to discuss this with the author of the work. Of course, no event in the area can be complete without taking in the Selsey tramway, and we have two events on Tuesday the 26th of May and Thursday the 28th of May along the tramway, and both will involve a picnic stop and of course a chat. Now, the blue plaques I referred to will be part of the Heritage Walk, which will take place on Wednesday the 27th of May. Many people have forgotten the contribution Selsey has made to this country. Not many of us realise, for example, that we had a wartime airfield, and the first plane to shoot down an enemy aircraft in the D-Day landings actually came from Selsey. I'm fascinated by the amazing and absolutely vast structures that formed the artificial harbours for the landings in France. And it was reported that it was like dropping Chicago on Selsey. No comments, please. The These enormous structures, known as the Mulberry Harbours, and you can see the connection with our very own diving school, were towed to France from Selsey, but the whole venture nearly came unstuck when they were hit by one of the biggest storms on record. I guess somebody should have told them about the Selsey wind. The Listening Post also has an amazing story to tell, not only to detect zeppelins coming over from the continent, but also submarines on their way to attack shipping in Portsmouth. There is much more I have time for here, but it will all be explained on the walk. While on the topic of history, we have one of the most historic sites in West Sussex in the former St Wilfrid's Chapel, and we have a walk on Friday the 29th of May which will take in the site and will also offer a short historical guide. Now then, I'm particularly looking forward to the Bat Walk on the 29th of May from East Beach. I didn't realise that they were in the area, but we have somebody from the Manhood Wildlife and Heritage Group who's going to show me how wrong a man can be. This walk is only about a gentle half mile, so will be suitable for most people. Well, there is much more to tell, but I'm limited on time. So if you want more information on the event, which I remind you takes place between Monday the 25th of May and Sunday the 31st of May, then please do pick up a leaflet from the library, Selsey Town Hall and local shops. The Town Hall can also take bookings and provide more information. You can contact them by phone on 01243 605803 605803. We have a website, www.swof.co.uk, so that's wibblywobblyworld.swaff.co.uk, and of course we have to have a Facebook page, which is Selsey Walkfest. We have an online booking system, and probably the easiest way to access that would be to go to the swaff.co.uk website, but of course you can go to the Town Hall, who will take bookings. Well, I hope I've whetted your appetite, and I hope to see you around the 25th to the 31st of May. So from me, Tony Weiner, it's bye. Thank you very much. I couldn't have put that better myself. Now, a new item, Video Watch by Dennis Cowan.
Welcome to Video Watch. It's a new program for our listeners, and I am your presenter, Dennis Cowan, and I will be reviewing DVD films old and new, trying to avoid the worst of them and what's top of the week in the rental shops. I will be giving a rundown of the top 20 videos courtesy of Reflex Video in Selsey High Street, run by Steve Saunders, who tells me that customers are into the action movies right now. The program will be a weekly thing when I shall be looking at different videos, telling you about some videos, and occasionally we will have a guest. Steve himself will be coming in, hopefully. News from the industry says that Pinewood and other filmmakers are going back to the 80s, and Star Wars, the new film currently being shot, is to use less CGI in order to give the film more character and depth. Those of us who took out videos in the 80s remember Nightmare on Elm Street with Freddy and Poltergeist, etc. Especially as we so often see a return to those budget movies with packaging that doesn't match what we actually see on screen on our home movie setup. And that is absolutely annoying. Amazon is full of bad reviews for some of those awful films, making people wish they had bought something else, and I've been in that category too, caught out, disappointed and wanted to bin it. And let's face it, that's where they should be. Well, let's turn to 4 films I do recommend as being worthwhile entertainment. First, we have The Double with Richard Gere, Topher Grace, and it also stars Martin Sheen. The Double is said to be a spy story, which it is, and it has got the little drop line of keep your enemies close. And this is a very good film. It's not an extremely fantastic film, but it is a good watch. And the story is when a US senator turns up dead with his throat slit, retired CIA operative Paul Shepardson, who is played by Richard Gere, is sure it bears the mark of the infamous Soviet assassin Cassius. The only problem is that Cassius was thought to have been killed years ago. Forced back into service, Paul is teaming up with hotshot FBI agent Ben Geary, Topher Grace, who believes that Cassius has been active all the time. As the pair get closer to the shocking truth, Shepardson is forced to re-examine everything he thought and knew in this edge-of-your-seat espionage thriller. And I've got to say, it was good. I did like the reviews, and I liked the trailers that were shown. So yes, if you've got time and you've got a chance, go looking for this. It is a recent film, 2012, so it should be around somewhere. And that's for those of us who like spy movies. We now go on to Columbus Circle. And this one was made 2011, the year before. And this is starring Selma Blair, Amy Smart, Kevin Pollak, with Giovanni Ribisi and Beau Bridges and Jason Lee. Good actors, those. And this one says, "Fear thy neighbour." And this is one of these pot boilers where, a little bit like the Michael Keaton thing when they had tenants, a tenant that went absolutely crazy. This is one of those movies that will have you glued. Things start to happen and you will be sitting there and enjoying that one, and I hope you do. So look for Columbus Circle. We now go on to the kind of horror section. Not all of you like horror, but I can recommend, although it does say Buckets of Blood, and that was Screen International who sort of marks that down. It says this is a powerful, riveting, dark and brutal, and a nasty little indie gem, The Bleeding House. And this is about the actors in it, Alexandra Shandow. These are relatively new actors in this film, and they do a very good job. And it starts off with a man who has a mission for retribution, and he makes his way to a house to meet the very people, and this is what it says. In this taut horror, the isolated home of the Smith family is invaded by sweet-talking Texan psychopath Nick. The Smith family live on a small back country road outside of a Midwestern town. They are a family full of dark secrets. Parents Marilyn and Matt have a cold relationship that is fraught with tension, born of a repressed and disturbing past. Their daughter Gloria is a strange child, with the walls of her room covered in dead insects. At first Nick seems to be a kind of unusually talkative stranger. However, he soon reveals the real reason he has come to the house, to serve punishment upon the family for their past crimes by draining their blood. Nick is a silver-tongued killer who thinks he has been sent straight from God to issue punishment. But as Nick's rampage through the house ensues, the last thing he expects to find in the house is an occupant who is even crazier than he is. So there you are. That's fairly good. I did enjoy that myself. Well, if you like monster movies, creature features, we've got one for you. And this is a 2015 film, and it's about werewolves. It's called Wolves, Unleash the Beast. And this is from the writer of X-Men and Watchmen. And this stars Lucas Till. And he handles it very well, actually. And the write-up is as such. Wolves is an alpha dog among werewolf movies, with monsters who are well ahead of the pack. Popular high school student Caden Richards wakes from an horrific nightmare, only to realise that he's living it. He is changing into something vicious, unpredictable and wild, forced to hit the road after a brutal murder of his parents. Caden tries to hunt down the truth of what he is, In the remote mountain town of Lupin Ridge, he discovers others like himself, including the beautiful Angelina, a young woman caught between two ancient clans of werewolves. And when they finally discover the shocking truth behind his ancestor, Caden realises there is only one way to save the woman he loves. Yes, this isn't the wolf kind like in Dog Soldiers, but it is on a par in the makeup effects, such as The Wolfman. So, and it is a film of 87 minutes, and it is definitely worth a look. You should enjoy it. Werewolf fans should enjoy this. So we've come to the end of this short review of films I can recommend. And now let's look at the DVD Top 20. And it goes like this. At number 1, there is Night at the Museum 3. At number 2, Black Sea. I don't know much about that. I know that Night at the Museum is, well, it was pretty good. Number 1 was okay. Number 2 was okay. At 3, we have Predestination. At 4, we have The Signal. At 5, we have Dumb and Dumber 2. At 6, The Pyramid. 7, Penguins of Madagascar. At 8, we have Interstellar. At 9, we have The Hobbit Battle of Five Armies. At 10, we have The Homesman. At number 11, there is Gone Girl. 12, Frequencies. At number 13, The Drop. At number 14, we have Horrible Bosses 2. At number 15, we have Paddington. At number 16, we have Horns, and that is Radcliffe, Daniel Radcliffe, doing a bit of horror, although he did The Woman in Black. And there is a sequel to that somewhere. At number 17, we have Mockingjay Part 1. At number 18, we have The Imitation Game. At number 19, we have Supremacy. And at number 20, Before I Go to Sleep. Now, these were listed from Monday, the 20th of April. Now, as I said, Reflex, who have kindly supplied me with this, Reflex was started in 1987 with Keith Simmons at the helm. It changed owners in 2010 when Steve and Nicky Saunders took over. They say their survival is mainly due to the customer base supplying the needs of holidaymakers at the Bun Leisure site, along with the locals who are mainly weekend customers. Reflex get their films 3 months before Netflix, but admit that Sky is the fly in the ointment. They stock well for the kids, and for £5 you get to rent 6 films over 7 nights. And do bear out the fact that these are on yellow and green sticker codes. I shall be back next week with another few films to look at, and we'll go over these. These will be across the board: horror, comedy, kids films, adventure films, and we'll look at what's good and bad in them, and I will try to give you some sort of idea of what a good viewing you will have, or hopefully you will have a good viewing. And we will also perhaps deal with the ones not to buy, though can be said if you go along to Reflex, at least you rent them, see them, and you do not stack your shelves full of them. And of course there is a lot of us who collect these films and end up with loads to sort of get rid of. So yes, we will look at some new films, old films, and you can join me then. That's it for this week, and thank you for listening in to Video Watch.
Thanks, Dennis. So, Giles, what do we have to do in the garden this week?
Hello, Giles. What have we got on the gardening front?
Well, in this great weather, it's a good time to be talking about gardening for once, isn't it? Normally when I'm here, it's pouring with rain and wind or whatever. So
that was yesterday.
Yeah. Yes. So we picked a good day to talk about it, yeah. In general, at the minute, driving out and about in the countryside, the horse chestnuts are beginning to look really good. Their large buds are really looking, they're ready, opening very soon, and they're looking very attractive. That's the word I'd use. The large buds on the chestnuts look really nice. Also in the orchards now, the apples, pears and plum blossom is getting up and running, and again is quite a sight to see. Lovely to see, in fact. Out in the countryside again, the lambs are in full flow, enjoying life now. The rabbits with their little young ones coming along are all over the place. Obviously got to watch them in the roads. And the hares are, we do have a few around this area, I believe, are having their spring dance any time now. The other thing I'd like to say, which is very noticeable, is in the hedgerows as one's driving along now, there's loads and loads and clusters of the white flowers that belong to the blackthorn and the hawthorn, and some of the blackthorn ones can be pinkish, but anyway, they're mainly the white ones, and they are, as I'm sure everyone notices.
Yeah, I've seen those.
They're very apparent, and they are a very good sign that we're underway in the spring now. As regarding the garden, I don't know if you've got any questions particularly about it, but I will launch on this week.
Launch on.
If plants in general, it does mainly outdoors, but also can be indoors. Any plants look as though they're, mainly this applies to pot plants, look as though they're sickly or dying, don't look well. Quite often, usually it's due to what they call vine weevil, which is can happen does happen quite a bit. If you get the plant out of the pot or out of wherever it is, the container, take it right, and undoubtedly you'll see these plump little white weevil things, and obviously you've got to destroy them and destroy destroy the whole lot, in other words, and start again, because they'll spread.
What about this ragweed stuff?
Ragweed, yes, but that's obviously, it's illegal to have it, as you probably know, so one shouldn't be having it in the first place. But people do, yeah, they do. Again, there's no easy answer. Grab it out and burn it. Just burn it. Don't put it on anywhere with anything. Burn it, because it's one of the worst things with that is it's poisonous to a lot of various things, and it's got to be burnt, basically.
Right, Joe.
And the main thing, going back to these blessed vine weevils that they attack mainly, are plants like primulas, fuchsias, begonias, and succulent plants. Now and again at this time of year, fruit trees could do with a high potash feed around the base, and cane fruit the same, and strawberries the same. They all need a good high potash general feed around about any time now. There is another thing in the pond. People have got them lift and divide and replant after, or throw away if it's too many water lilies, because they spread at a rate of knots. So in most cases, they will need dealing with at this again, round about this time. Now we branch on to little tips, what I call my tip-top tips.
Why not?
That's seaweed, which we can get obviously very easily here. Gather some up. It's a very good potash feed. Gather some up, stack it up and let it rot, and then apply it as a mulch. Not too much at a time, but it is very, very effective. But it has to be left for quite a while to rot. It's no good going down and bringing some home and just bunging it on. That would do more harm than good, probably.
I'll tell you, there's one question I'm often thinking, and that's, these kind of plant grow bottles.
Yeah.
Some say for flowers,
Yeah.
some say for tomatoes, some
Yeah.
say general. Are they all the same?
To be honest with you, they're very similar. The only slight difference might be in the type of feed involved, but it wouldn't make a great deal of difference, to be honest with you.
Just generally a different bottle.
Yeah, generally, I'd say you're right.
Thank you, Giles.
I'd agree with you on that. I'd agree totally. So lettuce, from now on, roughly every fortnight or 10 days, you'll have an ongoing salad through the summer. Also a good idea to pressure wash paths or drives or patios, whatever. It's a good time to pressure wash them now, round about now. Now we're going on to lawns, which it's a good idea now to apply moss killer. And then after that's been applied, you give them a good scarify or rake them to get out of after the moss has died down a bit, obviously, to get out the dead moss.
Yeah.
A little saying, if ash blooms before oak, wet summer. Oak before ash, lots of sun.
Right.
That's an old saying. And I think I've noticed it does actually quite often is true. I believe that you had a question, John, that you wanted
Yes,
to ask me.
a listener emailed us asking, what do you feed hydrangeas on?
A good general purpose fertilizer, not too high potash or anything, just a general fertilizer. Like, for example, well, I can't give there's so many of them, but a general all-round fertilizer, not a specific one.
Okay. And the other question we had in was, when do you scarify? Do you do it before you mow or after you mow?
Best to do after you mow, because if you do it after you mow, then it will get out anything that still remains. Mm-hmm. As against, obviously, if you do it before you mow, you're going to get out stuff with the mower would be getting out anyway.
Right, okay.
So those are so basically definitely after you mow.
Good. Thanks very much.
So I'll say cheerio for this week then. Thank you very much.
Until next time, Giles. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Giles. And it's over to Lynn, who's going to explain to Dennis how the Fat Cows discussion group came about.
Welcome to the making of Fat Cows, produced by Sir. And who is Sir? Sir is Selsey Internet Radio, and it is Dennis Cowan and John Fletcher production, yes, presented by Keith Barnes on an idea by Lynn Reeve. And we have Lynn in the studio today to tell us how it came about. Lynn. Hello, Lynn.
Good afternoon, sir.
No, I'm Dennis. You remember this, Lynn.
Hello, Dennis.
Thank you, Lynn. Where did the idea come from, Lynn?
Out of my head.
That's a good
answer, that one. If you've ever seen inside my head,
It's
you wouldn't find your way through it. But
it's a good place to start.
It's a good place to start.
Yeah.
All my ideas start at night. I lay awake at night and think of things, and these things pop into my head, and that's the end of that. I don't know. It was just what can we call ourselves? What do you call a new diet club? What are you going to do? We're not Weight Watchers. We're very tongue-in-cheek. We weren't going to do it seriously. It was just a bunch of us fat girls getting together and having a chat about cake and things like that. So Fat Cows just came to mind. It was one of those things. Now, what we found when we got together was they actually got on very well, and our talks became more and more about other things than it was about being fat. So yeah, that's where it came from.
Well, you have your sister involved, don't you?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. What did she think about this, and the rest of the members?
I'm not sure that Annie, who's my sister, is too taken with the name. I don't think she likes the name Fat Cows, but she goes along with most things I say.
It's brilliant. Fat Cows is brilliant.
And the other ladies don't mind at all. They just think it's a giggle. It's just a giggle, you know? It's nothing serious. Nobody's going to smack you if you don't lose a pound one week or anything like that, or haul you up in front of everybody.
Well, let's face it, Fat Cows is a handle, isn't it?
Yes.
That's what it is. It's like having an email name.
Yes.
This is what it is. And, of course, Fat Cows will make somebody look.
Yes.
If you said this is a discussion group,
boring.
You'd get people going, oh, God.
Another one.
What?
Another one.
Exactly.
But we have evolved into a discussion group, and we actually don't need a script or anything like that. We just get together and sit down and have a chat, and it just follows on and on and on and on and rolls on and on and on. It's quite good.
What, do a subject, throw the ball in and see where it bounces.
I'll tell you what's quite hard though. We did a radio show the other week, didn't we?
Yes.
And it's quite hard to stay on one subject. If somebody says to you, can you do a discussion on religion?
Yeah.
That could take forever and ever and ever. And I wouldn't do one on religion.
No.
But if they did, it's very hard to stay focused on religion when everything else, when so many people are putting so much into the conversation. So you could start on religion here and be like a Chinese whisper, and over there you end up on pornography or something like that.
Oh,
so
wow.
yes.
Wonderful.
It's
No, I actually have the same trouble with pick and mix. The powers that be, that aren't, said to me, can you shorten the topics? Because they felt that the topics were too long. Now, my own thought on that, as you've just said it, is that a topic lasts as long as it will, so long as it's interesting.
Yes.
And it's all to do with how much you've got in that topic,
Yeah.
whether it is a decent topic to deal with.
Yeah.
And as we will be doing a new show soon, of Fat Cows, you'll either dream up a topic, or you'll grab a topic from somewhere.
We'll grab a topic from somebody's mind, yes, and we'll talk about it. But we may not stay focused on that one topic, you see. This is where we work better.
Yeah, you'll move off on a tangent.
You move off on a tangent.
Yeah, why
isn't it?
not? Why
Everybody
not?
does. In a normal conversation, you do, don't you?
Well,
So-
I think if you get strangled
yeah.
by a rigid set of rules,
Yeah.
like this is what it's got to be.
Yeah.
We're talking about swimming pools in North Anglia. we might come to the thing of, oh God, how do we get out of North Anglia?
That'd be a short conversation.
It would be, yes. When you got the girls together, we'll call them girls.
Yeah.
Why not? Well, was this? I mean, you mentioned this sort of this. Was it a slimming club or something, or just on a diet club or something?
It was a diet club thing. It was really done very tongue in cheek. I said to them one day, we were fed up with going to other diet clubs in the area. We were fed up with being told off if we didn't lose weight. We knew we weren't going to lose weight.
You weren't.
We had no intention of losing weight, really. But you have to sort of lie to yourself sometimes and say, this time next week I'll be 2 pounds lighter.
That sounds good.
Yeah. Even if you get there and then you say, well, we'll start again tomorrow. And this is how it started. So it started off, just somewhere to go and weigh every week. Because if you weigh yourself in front of people, you're more likely to try and stick to.
Exactly, yes.
Aren't you? So,
it's like blowing the gaff.
Yeah. So
they know.
Yeah, the good thing about it is I'm the one that gets to weigh them, so I don't have to weigh in front of everybody.
I see,
want to, But it worked well for a little while. But as with all diets, they fall by the wayside. But we've decided we're going to keep meeting every Wednesday afternoon because we like each other's company and we have a good old chat and a laugh.
Yeah. And how many are there? I mean,
up to 16, 17, I think there was one week. So, but people don't always come every week.
No.
I think last week we had 10. So there's quite a few of us.
That's a lot.
And I could gather more.
Yeah.
We could gather more.
Yeah, you could gather more. I was going to say, who did you choose for the radio session, and why did you choose them?
Because I knew they had something to say.
Yeah.
Right. I'm not saying that all the girls don't have something to say. Some of them, they were quite reticent. They don't want to be in front of a radio mic.
Right, yeah.
And that's normal, isn't it?
Oh, yes,
And then you get the others that, like my sis, a bit of a show-off. Bless her heart. I mean that in the nicest way, Annie. She's a bit of a show-off, though. And she likes the radio mic, and she likes the idea of being creative.
Yeah.
And it is a kind of creativeness, isn't it, that you need from them?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I totally agree. I have approached people to do interviews, and they have had actually extraordinary lives, but they won't come on and talk about it.
What a shame.
And that's what I think. It's sad. And there's nothing I can do.
No.
Nothing. It's not like offering him a donkey to
not
a donkey.
at all.
Oh, I've got it the other way round, a carrot to a donkey.
Carrot to a donkey.
Thank you, Lynn. We've got to food again and carrots. But carrots make you see really good.
In the dark.
In the dark, yes. When you came to the name Fat Cows, we sort of nearly touched on that. Was it you then who picked out Fat Cows?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. You didn't sort of get worried about that name before?
No, not at all. I did it very tongue-in-cheek. I started actually just by putting a notice on the window saying, meet with the fat cows. Come and meet, come alias the fat cows starting next week. And I just did it. And the people that come don't mind that.
No.
If you're going to mind being called a fat cow, don't come to one of our meetings.
Well,
but
no,
if you can take it tongue-in-cheek and know that we love you anyway, we don't mean any harm by it.
Well, I think the name sort of is a lovely extreme.
Yeah.
And there's nowhere to go. They can't really push you anywhere by saying anything more diabolical.
No.
Bunch of fat cows.
We're a bunch of fat cows.
Yeah, I think it's brilliant. I think
But we're a lovely bunch of fat cows, I have to say that.
Well, yes. I mean, the show that we did is great fun to listen to.
Yeah, thank you.
When I listened to it after recording it, the spontaneity came out terrifically, and it did sound like you could go on for ages.
Yes, we do. We do often. With our group of friends, we very often talk late into the night. So yeah. You'll be seeing some more of that. There are some more people to bring in. Some are very bubbly, some are quite quiet, but there are lots of more people coming in. So you'll be hearing more from us, I think, Dennis.
Yes, so long as you only pick 4.
We'll only pick 4 because we've only got a small studio, haven't you?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
But it's, the other studio is larger than this, but 4 because John likes to be in there, and of course Keith will be rolling the ball, so to speak.
Yeah. And we are large ladies.
You are large lady, yes.
Oh, dear.
And I've only got 6 chairs in there, so that's.
We'll keep it to 4.
Yes, that's great. We'll come back to sort of the idea of sort of when you had this the diet club.
Yes.
I mean, how did the diet club sort of thing sort of swing into action? Was this were these people all looking for a diet but wanted a sort of friendship as well?
Probably, yeah. I mean, yeah.
Because you said you
know what? I think that anybody that goes to any kind of club, whether or not they've got a really big interest in it, whether it be folk singing or what it is, they're going there to find friends, aren't they?
Yeah,
they are
like-minded
people, or really because they want to find more friends or widen their circle or make new ones. I don't know, but people are always looking for company. I think that people that go to any club are ideally going to look for company. Yeah,
I do as well. I think sort of like this. I wanted a cooperative.
Yeah.
And I wanted people to meet people.
Yeah.
And I think that's where it starts.
Yes.
That's where you can get something together.
Yes.
Because if you're a lone ranger, oh God, that could be me. If you're a lone ranger, it does get a little bit claustrophobic.
What, loneliness?
Yes.
Loneliness.
Of not being able to sort of bandy about some views.
Yeah.
And drop the weight of those views, especially if they've been weighing in on you. And I found that sort of, when you did Fat Cows, the exuberance, the laughter was like I could tell was
it's
a kind
of
tonic. Yeah,
it's a medicine.
It was helping. You could tell that sort of when I was listening to you all sort of slide into each new topic, you could sort of sense the power behind it, and it was terrific.
I loved that you said that, because one of the things that I think is that it's very healing to be in a group of people where you're all like-minded and you've all got something in common, or you're just having a spontaneous talk. It can be very healing, can't it?
Yes.
If you're hurt in any way whatsoever, to be with a group of people that just want to have a chat about something else, it's a healing thing to do. And people need people. No matter how much of a loner you are, you need people.
Yeah, you do. At some stage, you're going to need or reach out to somebody. Yeah. Maybe not for something in particular, but just to be heard.
Yes, just to be heard.
Because...
just to be a herd of cows.
Absolutely. We should have finished with that one, the herd of cows. But, I think that sort of like the fat cows can exist for a great sort of number of shows yet.
Good. I hope so.
I mean, how do you feel on that yourself?
I'd love to do that. I know we would all love to do that. I think we talked about it just the other night. We were out together the other night and we talked about it then. And yes, I know the girls would love to do it. And there, as I said, there are some new ones coming along that want to be part of it, very much so.
And do they know about the radio show?
They know all about the radio show. Yeah, they've listened to the radio show.
Oh, right.
And they know all about it. Yeah. But these are people that are, although they haven't been part of the Fat Cows group, they are part of a close group of people that I'm involved with.
Yeah.
And they're pretty good people to be around. So I think you can watch out for some fireworks and some fun, really.
Yeah, well, that's exactly what we want with this. I mean, there's nothing better than a bunch of feisty women. Yeah. Who said that? I did. I said that myself.
Well, I hope you go on thinking that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't interview you, but I do interview you on this occasion. So, Lynn, I'm going to thank you very much for being in here to discuss Fat Cows and how it came about, and I just hope that we carry on doing it.
Yeah, so do I, Dennis.
Bye-bye.
That was very interesting. Thanks very much, Lynn. So that's the end of the programme, and it's thanks to our guests Lynn and Giles, our studio manager Dennis Cowan, our producer John Fletcher, and from myself, Tony Weiner. It's bye for now.